doesn't have the blanket.
They're not dumb.
But yeah, I would
Hello and welcome back to Chaska, Minnesota for the 2026 Club National Championships. We have the first draw for the women's going on, and we are on sheet 4, our new feature sheet, which you will find to be our feature sheet throughout the rest of the tournament. We have a battle between Thangadurai out of San Francisco. Well, let me double check here, sorry. Thangadurai, yes, out of San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club against Mazur out of Alaska, my second Alaska team to call today. So first rocks are out of the hands for the leads. Thangadurai decides to go into the house to see how Mazur wants to handle this. Mazur is going to play the hit, and they do stick their shooter off into the wing, so setting up to see a couple hits here to start the game. I take that back. Mazur is calling for a top 12 center here. This is her lead. Noel Runyon. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing any names, and it will take me a little bit to get familiar with them, so please bear with me. This is the third consecutive club national tournament for Becca Mazur, skip for the Alaska team. So plenty of experience at the national level for this team. This is the debut for Thangadurai out of San Francisco, but a very strong team led by a skip that's not afraid to take shots, and a team that's well versed on their sweeping abilities and everything that goes with it. So hit, but the shooter rolls out. So we'll see what Mazur wants to do here, if she wants to address yes. So instead of drawing to that center, she's going to take Thangadurai's out of the wing here. This is their second. Heather Alley. Throwing an in-turn hit at this. Looks like it's curling up nice. Will the shooter stick around? Ooh, I don't think they caught enough of that rock too. So wide open house here for Abby Lynn, the second for Thangadurai. Abby Lynn throws second but holds the vice skip broom, so a little difference in their rotation. Abby's given a free draw here in the first end, which is always nice. Get your draw weight dialed in. Rock is out of the hand. Sweepers are cleaning. Now they are on it. They need looks like they want to carry it a little bit. Excellent sweeping out of this team. Definitely not lacking effort. Sweepers are able to drag it into the rings. Get it up into the top 8. Should say biting the 12, but top 8 weight. So Heather Alley stepping in the hack. Interesting way of throwing. I've never seen that. She puts her foot into the right hack, even though, oh, she I gotta look at that again. It's very interesting. It looked like she threw lefty, but slides. Interesting. I'll have to check on Heather Alley's delivery next end. But I do know she stepped through the hack, so it was interesting. So just a little too heavy on that. She does squirt out the backside, so Thangadurai has a opportunity here to put another one in the house. Thangadurai did win the draw for hammer. I did learn that they do throw 2 draws for that, and it's not the average of the 2, it's the total of the 2. So Thangadurai did come out ahead on that draw. So they do have hammer, and they are sitting 2 in the house, nicely spread apart from each other. Mazur's looking to hit and roll towards the center, try to get closer to Thangadurai's if they can eventually. This is their third Liz Gobeski. Looks like she threw a nice little control weight shot, looking for it to curl. It's kind of hanging out there. I think she got enough to at least stick around. Well, maybe it did roll out. So Thangadurai is going to use that stone that just rolled out and corner freeze to it. They are sitting 1 with hammer, so looking to put up a multiple point end here in the first. Claire Blasky out of the hack. Once again, forgive me if I'm chopping any of these names, which I am. I'm trying my hardest. Claire, the vice skip for Thangadurai, or I should say, I take that back. She is the third, but Abby Lynn is the vice skip. So a little unorthodox way to their rotation. Sweepers are on it hard. It looks like they just trying to get some pain if they can. And it does come up short. So Mazur has an out here to possibly set up for either a blank or maybe a force here. Gobeski out of the hack with her second. Nice controlled delivery. Sweepers are staying close. Curl side is on. She's sweeping hard. Now they're going straight side. So over curling on her. Oh, and it ends up flashing. Yeah, that rock just took off on her. It never stopped. Tricky when you go inside to out. I always feel like if you don't have that positive handle, it really takes off on you. So Claire Blasky looking to take advantage and set up that deuce again. Nice little gift for Thangadurai. Sweepers are staying close, but they're acting like it's a little heavier. Oh, now they're on it, so it should be pretty good weight. So it does drip back into the back 12. Sitting 2. Mazur is looking to follow that down and freeze in front of it. I'll also do my best throughout this draw to kind of update you on the other sheets, but as you guys know, all the other sheets are being streamed. This is the only sheet with commentary, but if you are looking into any of the other games out there, we are live on all of the sheets. It looks like we got some good games. A lot of stones in play in these first ends. It looks like we kind of have a open end on 3, but the rest of the sheets all have rocks all over, so looks like there's going to be some points hung in the first here. So Mazur is looking to just draw down to Thangadurai's red in the back 12. This rock is taking off on her. Becca Mazur. And it actually held up pretty nice and straight, just heavier than she wanted, but that works. She eliminates the Thangadurai stone. So Thangadurai is just going to play a hidden stick. I did watch the Mountain Pacific play down, so I did kind of scout out this team, and Sabathika is not afraid to make big shots and take those chances, so it's not surprising to see her just hit this and stick. Does give the opportunity for Mazur to freeze down to him. We'll see where she does roll to. So she's out of the hack with her first of the first end. Nice controlled delivery, eyes right behind that stone. I did notice during her warm-ups that she has a wonderful positive handle on it. She puts quite a bit of rotation on her rocks, which I wish I could do. That's something I'm trying to work on. I feel like a little bit more consistent with that. So fun to watch. She drills it right on the nose, right on the beak where she wants to be. So this will give Mazur an opportunity to freeze right to it and maybe shrink this down. We'll see what she does. She was a scotch heavy on her first one, so let's see if she can make the adjustment. Becca Mazur, skip, skating down for her second, discussing the options with the front end. Everybody's on the same page. Skip is ready. She's in the hack. She's out of the hack. Rock is out of the hand. I'm a little off angle behind here, but it did look like she was a little narrow on her broom. Sweepers are trying to hold that line. I guess eliminating that Thangadurai stone would be, oh, and she chips it. So Thangadurai is kind of gifted an opportunity here for an open draw for 3 in the first end. Unfortunate for Mazur, she threw a good stone. It was just a little narrow out of her hand, and these rocks are curling. So if you're narrow, it's not forgiving. So Thangadurai in first end with her second stone just threw a hit. So let's see if she can dial in her draw weight. Watching her practice draw, she drew right to the top 4. So I think she's got it pretty dialed in. We'll get a time on this best we can, hog to hog, see how fast we're going. I didn't get a good click on this near hog, so this might not be completely accurate for folks at home. Sweepers are liking it. They're cleaning in front. Now they're jumping on it. That's a good sign. They aren't sweeping overly too hard, just kind of scrubbing away. I had a 15-2-5, so that should be a perfect draw. Right to the button. She does it. Almost gets T-line. Thangadurai takes a 3-0 lead after 1. Nice end all around team end there. So Thangadurai coming off the first end with a 3-point hang. Mazur trying to do the right thing by freezing down to Thangadurai's and cut the scoring down, but just ended up over curling and gave Subs the opportunity to draw in for 3. And yes, I did find out Subs is Sapathika's nickname, so we're going to stick with Subs. A little bit easier for me to say. I was joking around, you know, it's my first draw for the women's, and I definitely picked the hardest name to say, so this is definitely a test right off the bat. So Thangadurai's lead, Amy Verway Cohen, a little heavy on her first one there through the house. On the first draw I called today, that was actually what I saw happen in their second end too, so it might be a reoccurring theme of ice speed, just gets a little bit quicker in that second end. A little tricky. Mazur looking for a corner guard. Sweepers are pushing it out as far as they can to get it off that center line as far as they can. But they do end up with a nice 2-guard there. So Thangadurai is gonna, looks like, set up maybe a, I would imagine, I didn't see the shot call. Probably a center guard, the way she's set up. Sweepers are eyeing it. Abby Lynn, their second, but holds the vice broom for subs. Their subs is calling for curl. So they were trying to bury it behind that yellow, it looks like. Beautiful weight by their lead, Amy. Beautiful weight, and they do bury. Perfect T-line weight. Becca looking to freeze right down, follow that right down. So Thangadurai right out of the bat throws a gem with their lead's first stone. Sorry, they're her second stone. So good makeup for her first stone. Sweepers are on it. They're acting like it's a little light, which I would say it is. It's looking to be about that same weight as her first one. So strong guard presence there. The problem with it is Thangadurai just buried behind it, so now that could be trouble for Mazur to deal with. Thangadurai's tap top 12 center, so just kind of set up that the angles there, you kind of cover up her red. Allow some room to maybe come behind if she needs to in the future here. Sweepers are brushing hard on it, trying to carry it as far as they can. And they do. Nice scrubbing by the front end. Bring it all the way to the 8-foot. Pretty buried too. So Becca Mazur is just looking to freeze down to this T-line Thangadurai stone if she can. I guess just add another stone to the mix here. Try to give you an update after the second end here on other games around. All the other games are being streamed live. This will be the only sheet with commentary. I did confirm I have some help for the afternoon and evening game tonight, so it won't just be me, so you won't have to struggle through 4 draws of me just talking the whole time. So I do have some help for the 4 o'clock game. Jake Westman's going to be joining me, and then tonight one of the ice makers and club members here, Adam Polio, will be joining for the night game, which we're kind of excited because we'll be calling our host women's team, the Chaska team, which right now they're over on 3. So back to our game here. Thangadurai's got 2 in the house, buried behind 84 pounds of stones or granite. So they're looking to just add another one in the house here. I think this is kind of their plan B. I think she was looking to have more of a guard, and that drifts to the 8-foot. So see if there's any doubles lined up. That's what Becca's looking at. Yep, I think that's the shot call, and maybe you move 2 here. If anything, get rid of 1, right? So normal hit weight's called. Becca does not want her to sweep. Oh yeah, now she is calling straight. So curled up on him a little bit. So they do get rid of the 1 and roll over. So they are, I think, sitting possibly number 2 there. Subs is not going to ignore it, and she's going to go at this with intern weight, or intern, say that's probably like a normal hit broom there. So it looks like that's the theme of this Thangadurai squad, is they definitely give the rocks a nice positive handle. You know, they're doing 6+ rotations on their rocks, so a little bit easier for line calling if everybody knows and throws consistently. So looks like they're a pretty dialed in squad here. Thangadurai sitting 3. Mazur does have hammer, and they do have a wide open draw if they need to. So Becca Mazur is calling for a sweep right away. Looking for this hit and maybe just roll over into Thangadurai's stones. They end up getting right on the beak, so sitting 3rd shot. Subs playing that control weight, it looks like. Keep their shooter around. Hard sweep for curl. They will lose their shooter, but they do get rid of Mazur's stone, so let's see what Becca decides to do here. So they are pretty well buried. She's not looking to peel. I guess at this point, what does she have? She has 3 rocks left, so yeah. Liz Gobeski looking to come down to that T-line rock if she can. Just kind of set up an angle to possibly use later. Sweepers like the weight. They are sweeping for curl. Looks like they're definitely going to get on top of that. A tap back wouldn't be terrible, I don't think. So there you go. Not a bad spot. Gives them options to maybe use that. See what Sabathica. That's what we're going to go with. We're just going to stick with subs. See what she decides to do. Yep, so I think the call is she just called basically a guard. And if it drifts in and the sweepers feel like they're going to get T-line, then I think that's the call. Just get another one buried. So kind of a dual shot call here. So Abby Lynn, who throws second for the team, holding the vice skip broom for subs, who has proven in the first end by throwing a hit and a draw that she is well dialed in here. Here comes her first of her 2 in the second. Sweepers are staying close. I think they like the weight. Curling in nice with that positive handle. So the guard does come in, sits right on, splits the T line or the middle line. Becca does have a in-turn draw. It's their option at this point, so see if she can generate a skip deuce. Becca skating down for her first of her 2 in the second. Thangadurai sitting 2. Pretty well covered at this point, so it's going to be tough to get rid of those. You just got to out-count them if you're Mazur. I do see, just doing a quick glance, I'll give an update after this end, but big end for Team Roth on sheet 5. They hung a 5 in the first end. So big start for Nina Roth over on sheet 5. She's taking on DiBaggio. DiBaggio is out of Ohio. Mayfield Curling Club, and of course Nina Roth out of Wisconsin. So obviously Nina Roth, a household name to U.S. curling, who is a skip of the women's team for many years, a two-time Olympian. So pretty fun for us folks to get to watch Nina in person. But a big end for them in the first end. Otherwise, I see a two on the 6 sheet. So not really any big ends besides that one. I'll give you an update after the second end here. So Thangadurai set up with her last in the second. Looking to bring another one in behind cover and possibly sit 3. Of course, I was too busy wandering around with my eyes to see what happened on Mazur's first one, but I assume she was heavy with it because I don't see a rock in the house. So Thangadurai's front end sweeping hard. They carry it all the way to the button. They grab a piece of the button. So a strong start to this game for Thangadurai. Sitting 3. There is enough room for Becca to maybe follow that and give it enough of a tap to at least get her one, although I got to look at the overhead here. Man, that would be close, wouldn't it? I think a tap, she would still sit for shot rock, according to my overhead. That's what she's playing, but she's not throwing, it doesn't look like tap broom. It looks like she's throwing kind of that surf weight, as Team Casper would like to call it, you know, a good positive board weight, it kind of looks like, from her broom. So tricky shot. There is some risk to this. I wouldn't be opposed to playing more of a backline, you know, hack weight, but then again, they're playing in the national tournament and I'm sitting behind the glass calling a game, so I trust their judgment. So Becca Mazur's out of the hack with her hammer in the second. Sweepers are close. They're staying close. They're calling curl side. They want it to curl. Are they going to keep their shooter? Are they going to get... Oh, and they end up chipping Thangadurai's, but they don't get it out far enough. So Thangadurai with a steal of 3 in the second end to go up 6-0. So a big lead here in the feature sheet, 6-0. Good news is there's a lot of game left. So Mazur has time to turn it around. Over on sheet 1, it looks like we are through 2 ends over there, and we have looks like a 2-0 lead in the Berg-Yapple game. And I wish I knew who was who. I will get better at this, so bear with me. I will try to figure that out.
Does your list have the teams and where they're from?
I have that somewhere in here. Yes.
Can I take a picture?
Yep. Yeah, there's the... Yep. That's the women's there. Yep, and with that being said, Apple. I have all this prep and all my notes, but of course when I'm doing the broadcast I'm all flustered, so I'll try to get you better updates there. I'm still trying to figure out what teams are what stones here, so I do know in our feature sheet we have already had the first stone released by Thangadurai, and they opted to go into the house. Centerline top 8. Mazur is going to ignore it and set up their corner guard to hopefully set up a deuce here if they can, or a multiple point game. End, I should say. All right, so sheet 1 is Yapple against Berg. And so I figured it out. Berg is up 2-0. Berg is a very young team. They just actually secured a silver medal at the U18s championship this year, so a very young team. They are up 2-0. They are throwing the Redstones over on sheet 1. Boom, got that figured out. This is a good time to kind of go through the games because it looks like we have kind of some hits being thrown here on the feature sheet. So on sheet 2, we have Podal, team Podal taking on Conrad. And it looks like Podal is up 3-1 in that game after 2 ends. And then on sheet 3, we have our host team, the Chaska team, Jeannot, taking on Team Walsh. And Walsh is up in that game 2-0. Feature sheet, we're still throwing some hits and guards, so I'll keep going with the updates here. On sheet 5, we have the Roth at DiBaggio game. DiBaggio did put up a point, so we have 5-1 after 2 on that sheet. And then on sheet 6, we have the Mariano Turbo game, and it looks like Mariano is up 2-1 in that game. So there, I struggled through it, but I got through it. I will give you an update at halftime. So back to the feature game here. Thangadurai and Mazur for the 2026 Club National Championships live at Chaska Curling Center. So we are into the seconds rocks. Thangadurai's up 6-0 after a nice 3-point first end with the hammer and then a 3-point steal in the second. Thangadurai is sitting 2 as we see right now. Heather Alley second for Team Mazur, looking to play a hit, maybe get rid of both of those Thangadurai stones. Looking forward to curl. Kind of hanging out off to the side for her. Oh, and Heather just flashes by. So vice skip, second thrower for Thangadurai, Abby Lynn, is asked just to peel Mazur's corner guard. They're not going to mess around. Defensive play. I guess at this point with the scorecard, that's the call. So Abby Lynn, we'll see if she gets her peel and possibly even roll over to cover her centers. Looks like she has the right weight. Got a little bit more on the nose than she wanted, but did eliminate Mazur's stone. Heather Alley's asked to do exactly what she did on her first. So maybe get rid of both of these with one stone if she can. It's definitely more online. It could be a touch narrow this time. So they're sweeping for the straight side. Trying to hang. She does get rid of the back one, the shot rock. So she did get rid of one of Thangadurai's. Thangadurai's just looking to peel the corner, which is their stone, but peel the corner and roll over to the center if they can. I like this call. Claire Blasky set up in the hack, deliver her first and third here. Nice controlled push right on line. Abby Lynn sweeping for straight. Skipper likes it. All around a good shot. Rolls to the center. Thangadurai sitting 2. Mazur with hammer. Looking to hit and possibly roll under if she can. Roll under that Thangadurai stone off into the wing. So Liz Gobeski out of the hack for the Alaska team here. Sweeping straight side. Now they're going to sweep curl side. Ooh. So she did get rid of the object stone, just hit a little thinner than she wanted and lost her shooter. So Thangadurai is just going to split the house here, I think. Claire Blasky coming out with a draw here off to the other wing. Out turn. We'll get a time on this. She just threw a nice hit, so let's see if she can follow it up with a nice draw. Sweepers like the weight. Yep, they like the weight. 14.75, so it should be a really nice T-line weight. Does drift behind the T-line, so it gives Mazur something to freeze to. Gobeski out of the hack. Rock is out of her hand. Looked like she drilled her line. Sweepers are staying close. They're judging the weight, I can tell. I think they are guts telling them they got to go. It's really curling. Yeah, it's really curling. You can see the difference between the handles between the teams, where Thangadurai really throws that positive handle where their rocks are just holding that line a lot longer, and then also with that they break late compared to the soft handle where that one just was curling right out of her hand and it just never stopped. She hit her line, she would hit the skip's broom perfectly, it's just curled 6 feet. So Thangadurai is looking to, I would imagine, just kind of draw another one right to the center here. Make Mazur's draw a little tougher. Sabathika Thangadurai is out of the hack. Her last stone for the end is out of her hand. Sweepers are on it. They're off. They're staying close. They like the weight. They're on it. They like the weight. They're sweeping. They brush it all the way to the 8 foot. So Thangadurai sitting 3. Becca Mazur's going to skate down for... Oh, sorry, and I thought that was sub's last of the end. That was their first of the end, so all you people at home probably like, what the heck are you doing? Chopping it here. So Becca's skating down. Going to go after shot rock here, try to maybe get a nice little roll under sub's top 12 stone here. Getting a phone call at the perfect time. Thangadurai set up in the hack, eyeing up her skip broom. Out of the hack. Oh, sorry, I'm not Thangadurai. This is Becca Mazur. Sweepers are on it, straight side. So she ends up hitting right on the beak. So Thangadurai is going to hit that. She called right for the nose, so she just wants to get right on the nose, leave it. And that gives Becca the decision, which I'd imagine with a nose hit. With a nose hit, she's going to have to be forced to a draw here. So Thangadurai, Team Thangadurai played another great end here in the third, playing tough. Mazur just really has nothing they can do except for kind of chase. They're looking for some curl, so subs might lose her shooter on this one. She did get enough of the stone to keep it around, but does open up that wide open draw. So Becca's having a conversation here. I'm guessing it's whether what turn she wants to throw. Or is she looking at that hit? Yeah, I think she, maybe she wasn't looking at it. I think she was looking at that back Thangadurai stone, maybe using it as backing if she needed, but her vice skip Liz and Becca decided just to go straight draw here, so should be good for her. Front end, they've been judging these rocks well, so looks like they're reinforcing the confidence into their skip with their time, and Becca's set up. Hammer is out of the hand in the third end. Sweepers are saying it's a little heavy. I think they like it a little better now. Heather Alley's definitely saying do not touch it. It looks like it's coming down. Oh no, so she was a little heavy. So you guys will see on the overhead, it's going to be close. My eyes are telling me one red, but I could be wrong. It's really close. So I think they're going to swing between all three of these, which they are. It's all pretty close. I think folks at home, I'm sorry, you're at the mercy. I have zero idea. I'm looking at both overheads here. I'm looking at the one in the Crooked Pint and on my iPad, and they are too close for me to call. So this could be anybody's point here, and it could even be two for Thangadurai, for all I know. We have wonderful camera system here at Chaska, but unfortunately we don't have that close enough to make that call. So it looks like there's some deliberation here. I think. Well, folks, we are going to wait till we see the number get hung. It looks like Thangadurai is giving high fives. They did steal another one. So Thangadurai, after the third end, up 7-0 on sheet 4. The game I called earlier today, I started off this way, a 7-0 game. So luck of the draw on this. So the whole theory is we are going to stick on sheet 4 for all the commentary. That way we cover every team in the tournament, and then our championship day, the championship games will be played on 3 and 4. So we're sticking on 4 throughout the whole tournament. So we are up to a 7-0 game here in number 4. Thangadurai up to a commanding lead. Been playing in control for the most part. It's just tough for Becca to make anything happen. She's had to make like these amazing shots, and she's just narrowly missing. So Team Thangadurai is just playing excellent curling right now. So the first stone of the 4th end is out of hand. Amy Verway Cohen, hyphenated Verway Cohen. Amy with her first in the 4th. Thangadurai not playing guards at this point. They're going to play in the house. We'll see if she goes strictly defense or if they're going to keep their foot on the gas pedal. The men's game that I called this morning between John Johnson, he was kind of in the same thing. He went up to a 7-0 lead over Team Rose, and he did the exact opposite. He just kept throwing rocks in the house. So we'll see how Thangadurai handles this lead. Mazur's definitely going to want to set up some guards. They need some guards to come around. Got to get some points generated here. Still do have a lot of time in this game, but the more ends that slip away, the harder it is going to become. Each team allotted 30 minutes of thinking time. It's an 8-end game. So the teams are on a clock, which unlike club curling, you got to be mindful of that because that can creep up on you. No tick rule is in play, and the 5 rock guard rule obviously still in play. Thangadurai bringing both their rocks in the house. They aren't going to really mess around with guards at this point. I would imagine they're going to get to peeling on their next one. Or I should say into their seconds. So Mazur, she's thinking about those reds, but she needs to ignore them. Good call. So she wants to come around her guard. See other options. You could throw up another one. Another guard. Noelle Runyon out of the hack with her second of the end. See if she can come around her first one. Hey, nice shot on sheet 3 over here for the club team. The double there against Team Walsh. So Mazur ticks on their own guard, but it does roll in, so they got one in the house here. Thangadurai, who is not going to ignore that at this point. She's going to be in kind of the mode of just eliminating rocks. Abby Lynn, her vice skip, set in for her first. Looks like a normal hit coming this. They're looking for curl. If it does hit thin. Okay. So they avoid the jam in the back, roll over closer to that yellow, which could set up getting rid of that one also. Mazur with decisions. She's going to get... She wants to play Thangadurai's in the back 4 here. Thangadurai's, both of her rocks are behind the tee. So this needs to curl. I don't think she can get a field goal here. I think she's going to get rid of both. She does. So that works. Got rid of both of Thangadurai's. Subs is going to right away jump in and attack the Mazur stone here. See if she wants to roll out or if she wants to stick around. Sticking around gives Mazur something to freeze to. They are behind the tee line. So Abby Lynn's out of the hack with her second. She throws that wonderful positive handle, which that line just holds straight with that handle. And they throw a gem. And they do stick around behind cover. So a wonderful shot by Abby there. Give something for Becca Mazur to come in front of. Heather Alley with her second or her first in the fourth end here. We do take a break after the fourth end, and the ice crew does do a mop, so it's a 5-minute break in between the fourth and fifth end. Mazur papers the top 12, brings it right down to that Thangadurai stone, knocks it out. So job well done for Heather Alley. See what Thangadurai is calling here. It looks like she's going to come around her yellow, or come around her top 12. I had yellow in my mind. I didn't know if she was going to just get rid of the yellow. But at this point, that yellow is really not hurting anything, so she's looking to put a little pressure on and come around these stones. Ideally, you stop it in front of the tee line so Mazur can't follow it. It's definitely heavy. It's back 12 for sure. So Mazur is sitting one behind cover. Is she gonna split the house, or is she gonna? Yeah, I think that's the call. You split the house here. So a good opportunity for Team Mazur here. Liz Gobeski with her first of two in the fourth end. Heather Alley's got her hand up thinking it's a scotch heavy. She's staying close now, so it may have come down. She may have gotten tricked a little bit. The weight looks nice. I think they got to go a little bit. So they do jump it late. So they do go in for that shot rock, sitting 1-2. So a little turn of the events in this end. For Thangadurai, they're going to look to hit the shot rock and I guess roll into the center if they can. With that broom and their handle, I'm guessing they're playing hack weight, although that looks like more than hack to me. They are calling for the straight side, so job well done for Claire Blasky. Oh, look at that. Wow. A cross ice double. She gets rid of both of them. So job well done for Claire. Gives a little sigh of relief there for giving up a deuce here in the fourth. So Becca's got work to do. She does have some stones in the front of the house that she can come around. Liz Gobeski out of the hack with her second in the fourth. Nina Roth's team over on sheet 5 hangs a 4-bomb in the third end, so they are up to a 9-1 victory. They've been super efficient with their hammer, putting up a 5 and a 4. So Mazur, they came up a little light, over curled on them a little bit. Thangadurai is now sitting 2. Thinking about splitting the house here. I don't mind that call where she just put her broom there on her second opportunity, as long as they keep it in front of the tee line. I think they're coming. They're going to split here. So she's going to throw the in-turn draw, try to keep it in front of the tee if she can. don't mind this call as long as she doesn't come up heavy. If she comes up heavy, that could give an out for Team Mazur here. So our Chaska host team, the women's team, Lori Janot, did put up one in the fourth, so they are down 3-1 at halftime. We are biased here because I am a Chaska member, so I'm definitely rooting for the host teams. But definitely had a tough matchup for their first draw going against Team Walsh, so they got their work cut in for them. So Thangadurai with her first of 2 in the fourth. Nicely judged by the sweepers. They didn't oversweep it. Sitting shot rock with that, so kind of trying to bait them into maybe following that, but Mazur calls the bluff, and she's just going to try to bury behind those top 12, maybe get herself a skip deuce here if she can. So an opportunity to possibly put together a deuce here. Becca needs to put a nice draw in here. Try to get a time on this. So here comes Becca sliding out of the hack. Rock is out of her hand. Sweepers are staying close. It's heavy. Sweepers think it's all there. They're sweeping for curl. I got a 14.64, so it should be close to T-line. Are they going to be able to bury it enough? Wow, the ice speed's really cruising right now. So they are sitting 1, and there is a jam behind that, so I think Thangadurai is just going to follow it down, unless she's got enough to get rid of it. We'll see what she decides to do. Sabathika, who's not afraid of making big shots and big times. I think I did read somewhere that it's a known saying that subs just does subs things, so we'll see what she does here in this situation. That's a good opportunity to segue and give a big thanks out to Ben Hoppy of Stones and Stripes, a website, who, with Ben writing up a nice article on this national tournament, I was able to go and get a lot of research on these teams. So thanks, Ben, for doing that. I read your articles, nicely written, and thanks for doing that. It helped me dig up some dirt on these teams, which was always fun to kind of know what I'm getting into. So Thangadurai setting up with her last in the fourth. I did not see the shot call. It looks like they're doing a hit on this, maybe a surf weight, kind of behind the bumper. It's definitely a soft takeout, so she obviously saw more stone than I thought she could. So now they went curl. Now they're on the straight side, so it must be good. She does get rid of it. Oop. It did jam, but I do think that Thangadurai is sitting shot rock, so let's see. So I do think, unfortunately, with that jam for Thangadurai, I think Mazur is set up for a hit and stick for 2. They're eyeing it up, though, so I don't know if it's for sure. Okay, my folks at home, if you have any input in the chat, let's see what you guys are thinking. Looks to me like Mazur is sitting second shot, so That's what they're thinking. So the open hit and stick for 2. Should be a nice thing for Team Mazur. They need a 2 here. Put a little wind in the sails and go into halftime with a deuce. That would be great. So Thangadurai is looking very anxiously behind here to see what's going on. Becca Mazur has thrown the hammer in the 4th. It's looking narrow. It's got to curl. Oh, it is gonna flash. Oh, she did get a piece. So it will be for 1 if they are shot rock. So I think they will be swinging for this. Both vice skips giving it their look. Liz and all right, they're gonna spin it. So we will measure. It will be just for 1, whether it is for Thangadurai or Mazur. We don't know that yet. So I was gonna take a break from talking, but I'm gonna stick around at least until we find out the outcome here. So Team Podal, after halftime, looks to be 6-1 on sheet 2 over Conrad. And then I'm not sure on sheet 1 here between Berg and Yapple. I wanted to say that Berg went up to an early lead, so that might be a lead for Yapple. Regardless, we have a close one on sheet 1. It's a 3-2 game. I want to say it's Yapple on top. And I think I'm wrong. So it's Berg on top. Berg is the Yellowstone. Nope, I was right. Yapple's up top, 3-2. Sheet 2, I already said Podal's up 6-1 in that sheet. On sheet 3, we have our club team. Janot taking on Team Walsh, and Walsh is up 3-1 in that game. Obviously, you know the feature sheet here. It's either going to be a 7-1 game or 8-1, but it does look like Team Mazur got their first point of the game, so we have a 7-1 game after 4. And then, of course, Nina Roth, Team Roth is up 9-1 after 3. And it looks like there may be a force on here in that game. And on sheet 6, we have the Mariano Turbo, where Mariano has got a 4-1 game lead in that game. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back in the 5th. Thanks for watching. This is the 2026 Club National Championships, Chaska, Minnesota. All right, we're back. We're in the fifth end of the first draw for the Women's Club National Championship here in Chaska, Minnesota. We have Team Mazur coming off their first point in the fourth, leading out in the fifth end. Looking at the thinking time, both teams are doing pretty well on managing their clocks. Team Mazur is down to 16 minutes, where Team Thangadurai is 17 plus, so both where they need to be for the halfway point. So Ice Crew lays down the mop at halftime, throws it looked like they pebbled the slide pass. So let's see if the teams get caught with a little bit of a quicker ice here in the fifth end at the beginning. Looks like Team Mazur Noel kind of was a little heavy with that guard. She ended up being in the house, which gives Amy her a chance to play a hit here. Sweepers are sweeping hard to keep it straight. They do hit the object rock, but the shooter does roll out. So Team Mazur will get another crack at a guard here. So she's calling for a 3 guard right in the center. Noelle Runyon, the lead for Team Mazur out of Alaska. I have Anchorage written on my notes, but last time I said that during the men's game, it was a Fairbanks team. But I'm going to go with Anchorage because that's what I have written on my notes. So if anybody out in the chat is listening from Alaska, let me know. Are they out of Fairbanks or are they out of Anchorage? The one thing I do know, they are out of the state of Alaska, that's for sure. The Thangadurai squad out of the San Francisco Curling Club. They got the Golden Gate Bridge on their jerseys. So definitely came out of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association playdowns. Very competitive association out there on the West Coast. So, like her first one, Noelle was a little heavy with her guard attempt, so that gives Thangadurai the option to hit, which they do. So now we are getting into a little hit game here. Heather Alley, second for Team Mazur. Getting ready for her first. So she throws with her left hand. She slides on her left foot. Yep, I was right in the first end. It's very unorthodox. It's the first time I've ever seen that. So I knew something was weird when she kicks back, her foot goes between the hacks. So that's the first time I've ever seen that, and that's really cool. I love that. I love unorthodox deliveries in curling. So Abby Lynn set up the vice skip for the Thangadurai squad, although she throws second. Asked for another hit, which, watching Abby this game, this is definitely in her bag. Definitely set up for this shot. On point. Sweepers are looking for straight. Right on the beak. So job well done by Abby. So folks at home, if you're watching right now, Heather Alley setting up for Team Mazur. This is, she delivers with a left foot slider and a left foot throw. So that is something I almost want to try on my free time to see if I could even get my brain to think that way. Anyways, nonetheless, she is out of the hack with her second in the fifth. Oh, and she does end up flashing out to the wide side. So Thangadurai is given another opportunity to split the house. They do have hammer, so Mazur's got to be a little careful. Sweepers are on it, so I'm guessing they want a little bit of weight. They're off, so they like it. They definitely like it. Abby Lynn with her second, coming off of a hit, now asked to throw a draw, and she does end up being a little heavy. So tricked her sweepers too, because the sweepers jumped it like they needed to go a little bit. So fifth end mop speed, that's what we'll say. Whenever you watch the Briar and all those tournaments, they always talk about how in that case, it would be the sixth end is always a little quicker after they throw a mop down. So that might be the case. We definitely saw some of the Mazur guards carry into the zone, into the house. So Abby Lynn getting tricked with the speed a little bit. Mazur asking for some curl. They do get the object rock and they stick the shooter. So Thangadurai setting up for a blank end here, the way it's looking. Claire Blasky asked to throw a hit here. And, yep, sounds like a broken record if you've been listening to this whole draw, but this Thangadurai with their positive handle is pretty fun to watch. They all throw the same rotation, so you can just tell by watching this team that they are a well-polished team and they put a lot of effort into their practice. So fun to watch. Liz Gobeski in the hack with her second of the fifth. Just playing the hit game on both sides here. This would be a good opportunity to go through some of the thank yous and all that. I'd like to thank the city of Chaska for having this wonderful curling club and hosting this wonderful event. Like to thank the USA Curling Association for putting together all these national tournaments and giving these players this opportunity to come and perform at a national level. Big sponsors for U.S. Curling being Columbia. Columbia is in charge of all the U.S. Curling swag. I did see at Chaska right now, U.S. Curling does have a table full of swag available, so if you are in the area and you want to support U.S. Curling, come down here. They have a bunch of shirts and hats available for sale, and I did look, and those are all Columbia athletic gear, so wonderful thing. Dale's Brewery out in Colorado is a major sponsor for U.S. Curling. How cool is that? If you are in the area and you see it, grab a Dale's Pale Ale. Awesome for after a curling match. And then Twin Cities Orthopedics, another major sponsor for the U.S. Curling, a local company here. Like I said in the first draw, I'm actually a client of theirs. I had my knee done from Twin Cities Orthopedics last year, and I can attest that it's a wonderful, wonderful place to have any work done. Since we are in this open end, Mazur is going to throw open draw here. I'd also like to bring up some of the upcoming events for U.S. Curling. We have the Junior U21 National Championships coming up March 30th through April 4th in Bismarck, North Dakota. We have the Mixed Fours National Championship coming up April 15th through the 19th. That's out in Denver at the Denver Curling Club. And a fun one to pay attention to, the 5 and under National Championship coming up April 22nd through the 26th. And that's out at the Granite Curling Club in Seattle. I do some commentary for some of these local bonspiels that we host here. And Granite Curling Club, I'm always impressed with the way they travel. Seems like they're always representing at every bonspiel. So if you have any questions or do want to get into the swag and you're not in the Chaska area, you can go to www.usacurling.org, and they sell their swag on their website. Awesome website for any information into curling. If you have any interest in getting into curling or are a curler and looking just for some up-to-date news in the U.S. curling, go to that, usacurling.org. So, subs, given the gift of a free draw, just gonna take advantage. Imagine she is gonna try to draw in front of those One's in the back there, and maybe she can generate a skip deuce here. So fifth end ended up being pretty open for us. But there could be a possible crooked number held up here. Weight is a little heavy. It's curling up. She does stick it around, so Becca is going to have to deal with that stone. And instead of removing it, she's going to go with the full aggressive force here. Try to freeze right down to that Thangadurai stone that she just threw. So if Becca Mazur makes this shot, force is on. So interesting turn of events in this end. Becca Mazur with her Becca Mazur with her last one of the fifth end. If she does not make this shot and ends up coming short, then Thangadurai could hit and remove for a deuce here. So there is some risk to this shot. Mazur could just have hit and given her the blank, but they are trying to put the force on. Rock is out of the hand. Sweepers are staying close. I think they like the weight. They cannot afford to have that be light because it was a perfect, well-thrown stone. I think the sweepers waited a little too long to jump on that, and it over curls because it was too light, which gives Thangadurai an opening for a deuce, which Sabathica, going with subs, sorry. If you're watching this, I apologize for chopping your name this whole time. She has been given the opportunity for an open draw for a deuce. We'll get a time on this. She has been absolutely dialed in on all aspects of her curling game this whole time, so I expect nothing but a perfect draw here. So the team out of San Francisco is looking for a deuce in the fifth. Thangadurai is out of the hack. Stone is out of her hand. It is on its way down. Sweepers are cleaning. Staying close. Sweepers are on it. It doesn't look like they're frantically sweeping. At a 15.58, so she should be top 8. Sweepers get her up. Oh yeah, covers up the pin. So Thangadurai gets the handshakes after 5 ends. We have a complete game. I have been picking the games to call. I am out of here early. So we are gonna end this early. I am not gonna jump to any other games. I will say, if you guys are looking for a closer game, sheet 1, we got a really close game, and sheet 3, we got a good game going. Sheet 2, the Podell game kind of got out of there. It's 8-1 over there. And, of course, the Nina Roth game is a 9-2 game over there. So, first handshakes are out. Thangadurai with a 11-1 victory after 5. Nope, sorry, 9-1 victory after 5. So, strong showing for them. I knew during the warm-ups this team was going to be a polished team, and they did not disappoint. They are off to the next one. I will give you a little bit of an update just on these 2 squads on where they're going to be, because women's second draw will be tonight at 8 o'clock. Thangadurai will be taking on the team Yapple, which is over on sheet 1. They are in a tie game right now. And Mazur is going to take on Team Podell, so they got their hands full for their second game tonight, as Podell has been looking sharp over there on sheet 2. So women are back for their second draw, 8 o'clock tonight. I will be back at 4 o'clock for the men's second draw. So look to see you at 4 o'clock, sheet 4, men's draw number 2. Peace.